I'm going to discuss color theory and what the primary colors actually are. So when when we're quite young, we're usually taught that the primary colors are red, blue, and yellow, and you can make like orange with a mixture of red and yellow. You make green with a mixture of blue and yellow. You make purple with red and blue, and so on. And the reason that red is considered a primary color is because you can't mix it, you can't produce it by mixing two colors together. That's not actually correct. So if you look at a printer or if you look at printer ink, they've usually got a CMYK setup, and CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and the K means either black or white. I forget which one it is, but whatever. But that's, black. But yeah, that's the three colors that are actually your primary colors. So the primary color is cyan, magenta, and yellow, and not blue, yellow, and red. So you can actually make red by mixing magenta and yellow, and I will demonstrate that using Color Mill colors. So these are edible oil-based colors. They're a range that hasn't been in Australia that long, but they're amazing. So cyan is usually sold as sky blue. The one downside with the Color Mill colors is that the sky blue is a little bit, it's a little bit more of a tint rather. So, or tone, yeah. It's a bit more of a tint. It's got a bit of white mixed in with it. So these are our three primary colors. And I'm just going to put some of them down on the plate so that you can see them. The yellow looks almost orange because it's very, very bright. But if I just move some of that around, you can start to see a little bit more of the color. So I'll use that there. Whoop, gonna end up with color everywhere. You can see these ones anyway. And this one. But this is just a really good demonstration in terms of mixing the colors. So if I want to make some red, I'll take some of that, and I'll take some of this, and hopefully you can see the colors. Some of this, put that down there, start mixing it around, and that goes a really, really rich, deep red color. So just take some more of that off. Really needed a spot to rest things, I think, but anyway. So take some more of that, mix that in, and you can see how strongly, sharply red that actually is. So super, super red. And that's just with the yellow and the magenta. So if I want a more rosy color, you just have a little bit more of the magenta, and that's just going red now because I've got the orange in there. A little bit more of the magenta with some of the yellow, and I'll put some more magenta down. Yep. And you get a really nice rose color. You get your sharp red. Now if I want a sharp orange, I'll just put some of that there. It's just more of the yellow with the magenta, and you get a really rich orange color. There we go. That's that one, and I should really just grab some of this. Sorry about the bumping, so that I'm not getting too much confusion on the plate. And clean that. So you'll be able to see the yellow a bit better if I put that down. There we go. Now these Color Mill colors are oil-based, and they're really lovely for buttercream. You can paint directly on a cake with them, and they're very, very brilliant. The only thing that you can't do with them as easily is use them for a wash, but that's not really a problem. So now if I want to make like a blue, an actual truer blue, take a little bit of that and a lot of that and mix them around. I'm just going to grab more of that, mix them around. So the magenta and the cyan mix together to make a blue. Again, the sky blue in the colour mill has a bit too much white in it, but that's okay. Mix that around a bit more. It will eventually go a nice blue colour. There. It's more of a truer blue. Yep, so nice blue. And of course, if you want purple, just take that blue and you add a little bit of your magenta and you get a good purple colour. So lovely rich purple. There. Right. So next I'm just going to take some tissues and clean this off, because I'm going to get a bit mucky otherwise. So if I want my green, I take some of the yellow from here, put that down, take some of that, mix it around, and I'll get a nice, oh, that's actually more of an aqua colour. That's all right. Nice aqua colour. And I'll grab some more of that. Mix it around. So just because I'm not quite used to the pigments yet, I'm going to get a little bit more variation than I'd probably like, but it's fine. Just here. Pick up some more of the yellow. Yep. And again, the color's slightly off because of the amount of white in the blue, but it's a nice kind of eucalyptus-y colour there. Grab some more of that and just keep adding it until I get what I want. Starting to get towards the greener end of the spectrum. There we go. There, and that's more of a nicer green colour. And of course your aqua is just a mixture of those two. So in between there, you get a nice aqua. So these are really nice because, like I said, you can paint directly on a cake, or directly on fondant, or even directly on buttercream, and you'll get good coverage, and they work just like painting with oil paints. They're a bit thinner than oil paints, but you can thicken them up. Now, if we want to come around here, we'll go to making more of a limey colour. So we'll just nip a tiny bit of that in there, and then we'll get more of a lime. Actually, I think I'll start with, no, I've made brown. So because I've picked up some of the magenta, I've actually made brown there, but that's all right. So if we mix this one through, we'll get more of a limey green. Yep. Yep, there we go. So we get a little bit more limey yellowy, but yeah, closer to what the actual colour wheel looks like using, or rather what the CMY colour wheel looks like using cyan, magenta and yellow. So just drop some of that back there so we can see it again, and just spread that around so you can see the actual colors more. There. Just want that lime green to be more limey. There we go. So that gives you more of an idea. So we start with the magenta, which is there. It's your kind of hot pink in the color mill range. When you add that with yellow, you get a dark red. Just a little bit of yellow makes it a rosy color. Start from your yellow and orange, yellow and red makes your orange. Move around, and your yellow and your cyan, not blue, but your yellow and your cyan makes a nice kind of greener color. In between that, so more yellow than cyan gives you a limey color, and keep it moving. Your magenta and your blue, or I keep calling the cyan blue, but your magenta and the sky blue cyan gives you a true blue color. A little bit more of the magenta and you end up with an indigo. And if we come a little bit further around, I'll just grab this one maybe, a little bit further around, mix these two together, and you end up with a nice kind of regal purple color in between those two. So it just gives you some idea that red, not actually a primary color. So when I've recently made a cake which had an orange character on it, and I had a lot of orange modeling chocolate left over. So I figured I'm not going to use orange. What I'll do to correct that is just add some magenta to it, and just adding that hot pink color mill gave me the most brilliant rich red, and I made some lovely roses out of it, and it was great. So now I've got my primary colors in actual modeling chocolate. So if I want to go for, we'll try this with the modeling chocolate, mix them together, and this will be a little bit harder to judge because I'm not quite sure how much of each thing I've got, but we'll get there, we'll get close. So mix those around. That gives me a nice kind of limey green, well, probably closer to that way. And mix these around. See how I go with these. Well, that's a good leaf green. I think a little bit more yellow looks a bit nicer with that. So a bit more yellow again. And I'm just going to swap these around so that I've got them in the correct order for me. So it makes my life a bit easier. Yeah, that's better. So I've got my lime green, my truer green, and a tiny little bit of this will give me an aqua-y colour. Oh. It always looks a little bit funny when you first start the colour mixing, but just keep mixing and they come together nicely. So there we go. There's my nice kind of aqua, nearly Tiffany blue. If I add a bit more blue to that, that would be more of a Tiffany blue. Then I'll take this and I'll try and make a blue. Hopefully I don't have too much pigment on my hands from the from mixing them all together, because it'll just go brown. So you mix the three primary colors and you just get brown. But anyway. So mix that around and it's coming up more of a blue now. So more of a blue. Now, if you wanted to make navy, you'd start with a color that didn't have as much. Actually, that needs more magenta in it. Yeah, if you wanted to make navy, you'd start with a color that didn't have as much white in it as their sky blue does. But that's all right. I'll keep playing with the color mill colors. There's probably another version of the sky blue that's not as tinted with white. And getting there. So yeah, this is a long-winded, waffly video, but the whole point of this is just basically red's not a primary color. So that's really the overall message. And it's also just to show off the color mill colors are really nice to work with. You can make practically any color you imagine with just 3 colors, black and white. I would still recommend buying a navy just straight up because it's cheaper and faster. And the navy is really nice. So there, I'm at a purple. I just want to go a little bit more indigo. But yep, a little bit more indigo. And you can see as that's been sitting here, that's actually darkened up a little bit more, so it's gone closer to a true blue. And I made my hot pink quite bright, but that's okay. So there we go, I've got my purple, or my indigo actually, it's not a purple. Now I'll add this one. And this will be my purple. So this is like the regal purple, which is nice to work with. In some brands they'd call it an electric purple, but anyway. See, so that's a true purple color. A little bit more blue. And I reckon I'm pretty happy with that. Pop that down there. We'll keep moving around our color wheel and just sharpen that up. Whoop, I'm going to make that change color. So my hands are picking up the color from the chocolate. I've got really hot hands. A lot of people can't work with modeling chocolate when they've got hot hands, but I actually find it helps. It means that I can melt things faster. So from magenta, if I want to make a rose color, just a tiny little bit of yellow in there. And that should start to soften that out so I get more of a rosy color. And let's see, again, I've gone really heavy on the pigment for that one. And keep that moving, keep it moving. Oop. A little bit more. Oh, I'm going to hit red soon. So there we go. That's more of your rosy color. Oh, sorry. Yeah, more of the rosy color. Now, if I want to go for a true red, take some of the pink, some of the yellow, and mix them together. And that will start to color up red. Now, I don't know that I've got enough yellow in that. Nope. No, I've got too much. I've gone and hit orange. But it's close. A bit more of that one. This is also a case of the concentration makes all the difference. Yep, so that's more of a reddy colour. Going to add, not sure if I want to go more yellow or more magenta on that to get the colour I want. But yeah, I've got a little bit more magenta, I think. Fold that through and that red will start to develop more. So, red. Then I'll go my orange. So, like a brighter orange. Yeah, like a really bright. And that is my colour wheel complete. So you can see really quite well, starting with just those 3 colour mill colours. I've got my hot pink, which is really magenta, but again, things don't get advertised correctly. So, well, it's not that, it's that people aren't used to working with magenta. So we've got our magenta, we've got our yellow, and we've got our sky blue, which is cyan. And when you mix them all together, you can make any colour that you can imagine. And they all come up looking beautiful. So that is my colour wheel of colour mill colours. Hopefully that's given you a little bit of inspiration and a little bit more information just about the way that colour is actually made and what the true primary colours actually are. Yeah, any questions, any concerns, let me know. Yeah, really big fan of the colour mill colours. I've been using them for modelling chocolate. I used to just use gels in the modelling chocolate, and that works fine. The colour comes up really nice, but you need to use hardly any colour at all to get this kind of intensity of colour on modelling chocolate. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful. Thank you.